Daily protests and appeals are having no effect on the actions of the government, which is still holding Mariusz Kamiński and Maciej Wąsik in prison. The 13th of December coalition wants to force the president to pardon them again, which would provide an excuse to undermine Andrzej Duda's decisions of recent years. The tragedy of this situation is described by the president in an interview with Super Express. The head of the president's office explains that the president will make decisions after receiving an opinion from the Attorney General, Adam Bodnar. With the details, Adrian Borecki. Justice Minister Adam Bodnar still has not decided to release Mariusz Kamiński and Maciej Wąsik, despite an appeal by President Andrzej Duda to start the pardon procedure. The head of state makes this clear. My pardon is in effect all the time. In my view and in the view of the Constitutional Court, it was permissible, but I am primarily interested in effectiveness. The most important thing is that Mariusz Kamiński's life and health above all should not suffer. Today, Mariusz Kamiński is in a very difficult health situation. He is leading in a hunger strike all the time. Maciej Wąsik is also on hunger strike. I would like this to be stopped. If it can be broken only by me simply pardoning them again, simply to save them, I will do it. I will do so being fully aware of the tragedy of this situation. Also for the office of the President of the Republic, with full awareness. How are these words interpreted by Tusk's government coalition deputies? Thus, Mr. Duda admitted that by pardoning these criminals in 2015, he himself broke the law. And what do the constitutionalists think? In no way can it be said that there has been a violation of the Constitution, as there were various possible interpretations of the Constitution here. The situation is difficult for the president because the current government wants to undermine all his decisions. Despite the announcements, President Andrzej Duda will immediately pardon Mariusz Kamiński and Maciej Wąsik because he is still, according to the law, waiting for the actions of the Minister of Justice, the head of the presidential office explains. Pardon proceedings are underway. President Andrzej Duda will make a decision immediately after receiving the opinion of the Attorney General. Mr. Ad Bodnar, by delaying and not releasing the MPs from prison, is endangering their lives and health. If the president was such a great friend of this knight without blemish, Mariusz Kamiński, as he says he is, then he would pardon him right away and do it according to the law at last. And so we have a Brazilian series in which it seems to the president that he will succeed in making these two gentlemen into PiSo saints.
W którym wydaje się panu prezydentowi, że uda mu się zrobić z tych dwóch panów.
If those in power had recognized the 2015 pardon, there would be no problem today.
My stoimy na stanowisku, że to prawo...
We stand by the position that this right of clemency has been in effect all along with regard to MPs Kamiński and Wąsik, that the Speaker of the Sejm also unjustifiably revoked their parliamentary mandates.
Marszałek Sejmu.
Only that the desire for political revenge is stronger. This caused Donald Tusk to criticize Antoni Mężydło, a senator of the Civic Coalition of the previous term. This issue is political, so Kamiński and Wąsik are political prisoners. Only someone who does not observe the situation of the country might not notice it. Rather, we should be calming down internal dispute, and nothing is being done in this direction. They should be released from prison for this very reason. Everything should be done to prevent a mishap. I hope that Donald Tusk also understands this. This is another person who confuses political prisoners and politicians in prison. So please tell former Senator Mężydło that Mr. Kamiński and Mr. Wąsik are not political prisoners, while Kamiński and Wąsik are politicians in prison, and probably not the first and not the last.
Pierwszymi i nie ostatnimi na pewno.
Mają świadomość, że te działania są działaniami.
They are aware that these actions are extra-legal actions, but they are somehow, in this strategy, intended to lead to the appropriation of more areas of the state through such chaos, through the anarchization of public life.
Kolejnych obszarów państwa.
Such anarchization is the attempt to undermine presidential decisions made since 2015. In the campaign, Donald Tusk said outright that he does not recognize the choice of more than 10 million Poles. For me, yes, in my heart, the president is Rafał Trzaskowski. For me, the President of the Republic in this moral dimension is Rafał Trzaskowski. The President is Andrzej Duda, so that doesn't please Tusk. That's why he wants to put the head of state before the state tribunal, as he promised in the campaign in the so-called 100 concrete promises. Will you implement this concrete promise in the case of Mr. President? If in the course of our activities it turns out that Mr. President has broken the law, we will implement this concrete promise. Can these actions of the President in 2015 be a reason to bring the President before the State Tribunal? In my opinion, no. Just because someone has a parliamentary majority behind him does not mean that he is thus legitimate to act against the provisions of the Constitution, against the provisions of laws. And this is something of which those in power should remind themselves. Adrian Borecki, Telewizja Republika.